The Lord builds up his church through calling every baptised member to play their full part, unique part in the building up of his kingdom. So, first of all, a vocation is important for each person because we discover the meaning of our lives when we discover our vocation.
I would say have the confidence that God is indeed calling you to a particular vocation, and that will be the singular way that he calls you to heaven. And if it's the sacred priesthood, have the courage to say yes. It's the most joyful and fulfilling life. It's real fatherhood, and God will put you into 1,000 different families and situations, joys and sorrows, and it will be a life truly, truly worth living.
It'd be an awful thing to go through our life, get to the end of it, and then never to have known the meaning of our lives. But then what a joy when we discover this is why God created me, why he wanted me from all eternity.
The closer she becomes to Jesus, the surer she will be of whether really he wants her in religious life or in another vocation.
It's a lovely thing for a young person, anyone, to discover their vocation, their calling, their meaning.
St. Carlo used to repeat a phrase of Steve Jobs: your life is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. What interests me is going to bed at night saying I've done something fantastic. Have that desire in your heart. Mother Teresa said to me, if you have the desire, God will do the rest. Desire to be a saint, God will do the rest.
Church to be built up through her liturgy with the celebrations of the priest, our church to be built up through acts of charity, through our religious sisters, our church to be built up in our families, through good marriages, through mums and dads and grandparents, our church to be built up in the world in all the many ways in which single people in the world will give themselves to the making of a better world rather than to living for themselves.
It's a special vocation, but it's only the Lord that calls, and we have to listen to his voice in prayer that he will help us to follow that path.
So we've just come to the end of our annual Diocesan Vocations Mass here in St Mirin's Cathedral. An extra special blessing for us this year, of course, because we were in the presence of the relics of St Carlo Acutis, and every little prayer I've offered for 1,000 different little personal intentions has been answered so far, and I really mean that. Everything I've asked St Carlo to look after, he has. So one of the prayers I offered this evening was that St Carlo would take the prayers of the people of the diocese for an increase in vocations to the Diocese of Paisley. There are so many young people out there, I have no doubt in my mind or in my heart, so many young people in our diocese who are being called to a life of service in the church as priests, as deacons and as religious. And I know it takes great courage, I know it's a really scary thing to think about, but if you find the courage in your heart to just say yes, even for a moment, God will do so much with you. So I suppose the message is, as it always is, the message of the gospel, don't be afraid. Just trust in God. If he's chosen you, then you can't go wrong.
There was nothing that Carlo did in his way to holiness that you or I couldn't do. Saints, what I think Carlo teaches us is that in many respects it's easy to be a saint. You just have to follow the most simple programme. At the same time, he lived life to the full. He loved his video games, he loved his internet, he loved his sports, he loved hanging out with his friends, but he also loved Jesus. It's when everyone embraces their vocation, it's like a garden. The world becomes a garden that's flowering, blossoming every different kind of flower, beautiful to see.